Welcome back. Well, it all turned academic for Arsenal 2 weeks ago. Defeat at home to Lens left them bottom of Group E and unable to qualify. So tonight was about pride restoring and in denying Panathinaikos the points that could take them into the quarter-finals. Well, commentary in Athens comes from Barry Venison and Peter Drury.
Giving it one positive spin, it's one challenging night for Arsenal. Instead of fulfilling dreams in Athens, their decimated squad is fulfilling a fraught fixture here. Panathinaikos, who must win, are enviably close to full strength. Defenders Gumas and Milojevic are back from suspension. Top-scoring Pole Krzysztof Barshika, absent in Wembley defeat, plays this time. Notably missing Norwegian Erik Myklen, suffering, they say, continued World Cup hangover. That's a problem Arsenal understand well. Arguably it accounts for a fair chunk of a 14-strong absentee list. Martin Keown became number 14 when, after his fitness test, he was deemed suitable only to spectate from the bench. Steve Bold and David Seaman alone represent experience. Paolo Vanazza, 19 last month, is at the other end of the scale. Well, the more cruelly ill fortune has knocked at the Highbury door in the recent past, the more frequently opportunity has knocked for those who are normally well down the playing pecking order. This is another night of the understudy. Who knows? The start of something big for somebody of whom we know little up to now. Vasilis Stanyal there, the Panathinaikos coach, in his third spell at the club, and he has been quoted as saying that this is clearly his biggest game of the season. And it's a free kick to Panathinaikos. Aliosa Asanovic is over it. Steve Bold having to do some key direction at the back for Arsenal now. He's the man with the nous. Asanovic is the man with the left boot. And Arsenal had enough back, and the shot is from Vasinas! And Seaman did terrifically well, plunging to his left post to deny the defender what would have been a very special goal.
Great strike, wasn't it? Arsenal actually cleared the box very well, but they didn't get to the man on the ball quick enough. He took his strike early. David Seaman wasn't fooled, although it was a good save down to his left.
It's Nicholas Anelka. Anelka into the box. Key tackle from Gumas. Arsenal's corner. Ball is a natural target. Mendes with the corner. Vanchik has come, and he's lost it. And Milojevic belted it over his own bar. But the referee had long since seen a shove somewhere in that melee. And Vanchik is off the hook.
I'm not convinced by this goalkeeper, Peter. I believe they call him the mountain, but he moved a bit like a mountain there. I think he's a bit of a flapper. He's not happy when he's coming through bodies, and there was not an awful lot wrong with that.
Asanovic. Vasinas. Konstantinidis.
Again, that's tremendous. Breaking it up, and now they're on the break again.
And that was well refereed. Anelka, Lewis Boamorte. Boamorte's drive! And again Boamorte. And Vanchik, who couldn't hold on first time, was brave to dive in at feet second time round.
That's great play. I punch him to get at the defender there, get a little bit closer, one more touch and get a strike in.
Agorikakis. Ran out of space. Want to throw in, over for which has come Kola. Aimed in towards Barshika. He's all alone! He got the wrong side of Grondin, but he couldn't make the touch count.
He's gambled on a missing it. If you watch Grondin's position, he's not in a position to challenge. He's got to be goal side. And Barshika, with his quality and his goal-scoring record, that is a big let-off for Arsenal.
Who is stretched again now, Bold facing goal and doing the simple thing. Panathinaikos just stepping on it now, and this is where the severe test really starts. Big noise in the stadium. Seaman pushed it out, and the finish from Konstantinidis was an inadequate one.
It's a wicked ball in. David Seaman's got two hands to it. Well, all he can do is palm it out. It's whipped into the near post. David Seaman decides to do something about it. His own player gets in the way. Again, a let-off. That's two within a minute.
Apostolakis. Konstantinidis wants it on the near side. Arsenal got bodies round it and now can break with Mendes. Alberto Mendes. Milojevic stayed close to him and stood up and towed it away. Bashika. Konstantinidis! Oh, what a touch!
That is a magnificent save.
Anelka a little lucky in the way he held it up, but now able to break. And there's space aplenty, and there are plenty forward with him too. Vivas through the inside right channel. Benazza wants it. Boa-Morte may get it. It's Luis Boa-Morte! Oh! No clearer-cut chance.
Just on his weak foot, and he cuts across the ball. You see, he just cuts across, he doesn't get a clean strike. That would have been great time to score a goal.
It's a ground this which has hosted 2 European Cup finals over the last 15 years. If Panathinaikos want to host another quarter-final here, then they have to break through. That's what it's all about from the Greek point of view, Barry.
Well, from the Arsenal point of view, well, we've got to admit they rode the luck a little bit the first half, but they did pose a threat, and they've got to start the second half the same way in the start. The first half, which is like they are now, closing down. And
Anelka going in there, Vanchik came! Oh! And still not away! And Boa-Morte fired across goal and wide.
What a start that would have been. First 30 seconds in there, pressure on the ball again. Fantastic closing down by Anelka. Confusion in the Panathinaikos background. And another chance gone begging. I wonder if they'll live to regret them, Boa-Morte.
Vanchik with the hurried clearance, Benazza quickly onto it. Again, ball seemed to strike hand. It's a fortuitous decision that goes Boa-Morte's way. You can understand why Apostolakis doesn't like it, but it is an Arsenal free kick. It is Mendes. It's a very good strike, and it gives Arsenal an incredible lead. No one would have believed that this bunch of boys could come to this hostile atmosphere and create this kind of scoreline.
Well, he did trouble the goalkeeper, but it took a massive deflection along the way, didn't it? It's a decent strike. I don't think it's going in, and it's the ex-Derby player Asanovic who's going to be credited with that. That is going to go down as an own goal.
Bashika, nice touch. Asanovic, Sitniewski, ball going back. Sitniewski around Seaman. Sitniewski, 1-1. Bang go the fireworks. There's a renewed Greek belief that the quarterfinals are still just about in touch. And it's a pole that's kept them in touch. Arsenal's brave, brave resistance is finally broken. Igor Sitniewski had 1, 2, 3 tries at going round the keeper and defender. And when at first he didn't succeed, he tried again. And it's 1-1. It's very nearly a year. Oh, here come Arsenal again with more determination from Boa-Morte. He won't give up. Milojevic not letting him in. Nearly a year since Michael Black pulled on any sort of first-team shirt. And then it was for Millwall in a 3-0 defeat at Plymouth. From Plymouth to Panathinaikos. And with all due respect to those at home park, the atmosphere is rather different. Anelka, Black upcoming. Nicholas Anelka. Oh, he squeezed it in! What a canny finish! And it's the loudest silence you ever heard in Athens. All bar that little bunch who are jumping incredulously up and down at the first Champions League goal in the career of one Nicholas Anelka.
Well, we've been raving about his pace, haven't we? But it's his nous there. He hasn't gone anywhere apart from across the goal. And what forwards like to do in that position is, if the defender's getting close to him, is to open the legs up. There was nobody close enough. They like to get it through the legs in that bottom corner. He's done exactly that. He's managed. It wasn't a well-struck shot, but the direction and the placement was perfect.
All danger here, though, now for Arsenal. Liveropoulos through for Varshika. About 75% of the 45,000 in the ground thought that had gone the right side of the post from their point of view.
About 50% of this commentary team did as well. Vivas did well because he got a good challenge and put him under pressure. But what about David Seaman? Those fingertips again. I'm sure he's got extensions on them. Certainly seen some tremendous performances from the youngsters, but for me, Arsene Wenger won't thank me for this, for picking one out. Paulo Bernat has been outstanding.
Ray has let it go for Anelka. Important challenge from Apostolakis. Boumorte surging through, though. Luis Boumorte, 3-1 Arsenal. This is one outstanding team effort. And there are three guys cocking a snoop to those who wouldn't believe in their chances.
Shake your bum, shake your bum. He's had some chances tonight, and this is probably an acute angle. Not his best chance, and he slips it away lovely. 3-1. Delighted for Arsenal, and they thoroughly deserve it. Moral fibre. Young moral fibre.
Sitniewski. Good run, good ball. Hit the crossbar. Varshika. And still not clear. And a free kick.
See the pressure. It's on his favourite left foot. You know what he wants to do. He wants to loop it over and dip it. Just doesn't. David Seaman in a position of no hope there. A little bit of luck. And they deserve it.
Anelka.
Strutting his stuff now, isn't he, Anelka? Nicholson, he's got that lovely little goal tucked under his belt. The wind's there.
Well, it will be interesting to see what the 11 is against Aston Villa on Saturday, because this Wednesday evening, a young, untried 11 has triumphed for Arsenal. It's a success with no long-term ramifications. But those strikes from Boumorte, and before him Anelka, and before him from Alberto Mendes, a free kick which struck Asanovic before falling beyond the keeper. Those strikes have made it a proud, proud night indeed for Arsene Wenger. Everything that Arsene Wenger could have wanted, he's had delivered by his young heroes here in Athens. The final score, Panathinaikos 1, Arsenal 3, and from the Champions League from Arsenal, it is au revoir.
As it turned out, that result made no difference to Panathinaikos.
Final standings in Group E. Dynamo Kiev finished top with 11 points and qualify. Arsenal finished third then on 8 points, and we can get a word with Arsene Wenger.
Arsene, how satisfied were you with that?
I'm very happy, because when you think that you had 11 players at home and the kind of performance you had tonight, you can only be happy. We have as well some regrets, because we think now of the points we dropped in the last minute, and how unlucky even was the offside goal against Lens, because it could have helped us tonight. But I think we had a great performance, and I would be positive tonight, because it was with so many young players. It shows that our squad is not as bad as many people said.
So overall you're disappointed, but you will certainly enjoy this victory.
Yes, we go out with pride, because we win our last game. We don't finish bottom of our group, and that was important for the supporters, for the club, and for our pride, of course.
I went to finish then for Arsenal. Phil Mepham there posing the questions to Arsene Wenger. Kevin Keegan, the luck maybe that Arsenal didn't have in previous matches finally arrived tonight.
Yeah, sadly too late. They played really well in this competition. Lens early on, they could have scored 4 or 5 goals, finished the game there. But tonight, I think he got a few surprises. He found out he has got strength in depth, he has got character, and he's got some resilience, because they had nothing to play for but pride. The other team had everything to play for, and they came through it. 3-1. They had a bit of luck. David Seaman made a couple of great saves, but he's capable of doing that. Great result.
Yeah, John, that spirit that Arsene Wenger's talked about as Arsenal having in the Adams and in the Bowles is clearly there in some of the so-called lesser players.
Yeah, and that bodes well for the future. I think that's probably given him more satisfaction tonight, knowing that these are the players he really has to rely on in the coming years. And if you can go to Greece, Panathinaikos, in a hostile environment, with Panathinaikos everything to play for and actually beat them, I think that really gives him a lot of satisfaction.
Kevin, Nicolas Anelka's come in for a bit of stick in this Champions League run. He's missed chances, and he missed chances again tonight, to be fair to him.
Yeah, he keeps getting there. This is a really good header. I mean, that's a great save. I don't count that as a missed chance, but he did well to get it on the target. This one, he's chasing a lost cause, really. Keeper gets there first. When he looks out, this is what happens. Bashes it against him. Where does it go? Against the post and back away from him. But then suddenly, if you keep buying these tickets, you sometimes win the raffle. And he won't win goal of the season, this, but it'll be the best goal he's scored in Europe this year, because it's the only one. And that just might set him off again, because I think he's got a lot of ability.
Yeah, how big a win, John, in the context of Arsenal's season now, domestically, of course, and qualifying again for the Champions League, might that be?
Well, I think it's a massive win, because I think that's going to give them confidence in the Premiership. They haven't scored many goals, and there are question marks as to whether they can actually do it without their senior players. And as I said before, to go to Greece and win, that could really kick-start their season.
Positive signs. And Kevin, what do you make as a manager of Arsene Wenger's decision this week to finally, after months of speculation and other offers, we believe, to finally sign that contract at Arsenal?
I think you'll find that he'll take this club on again. They've learnt a lot now. He'll go and buy again, he'll strengthen again, and Arsenal will become a dominant force in this country.
OK, well done to Arsenal. After the break, then, a full roundup.
The early tactical battle was won by Arsenal and the rejuvenated Dennis Bergkamp.
Who tries the early shot and finds the net. So simple, so
Villa were unable to respond, and at the end of the first half, Nicolas Anelka provided Bergkamp with his second.
what a magnificent goal!
It looked as if Villa's title challenge was fading, but at half-time, John Gregory gave up his 5-3-2 formation and put three up front. The gamble worked, with Julian Joachim starting the fight back.
Excellent Villa goal.
3 minutes later, the home fans could hold.
Liverpool, meanwhile, completed their worst run. But was Nicolas Anelka offside before he set up Dennis Bergkamp for his third goal in 2 matches? Certainly Leeds manager David O'Leary thought so. Patrick Vieira made the most of his freedom to play after being cleared of assaulting a policeman last week. He made it 2-0 early in the second half. Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank brought Leeds back into the match with a 25-yarder, and momentarily at least Arsenal must have been wondering whether they were about to lose a 2-0 lead for the second successive weekend. But 8 minutes from the end, Dennis Bergkamp's defence-splitting pass sent in Emmanuel Petit to make it 3-1. Arsene Wenger, though, was again forced to defend violent conduct by one of his players. Grimaldi was sent off for headbutting the Leeds substitute Alan Smith. The Arsenal manager claimed Grimaldi made the headbutting movement, but that he didn't actually touch his opponent. Inconclusive pictures, I suppose. A last-minute winner for Ipswich.
The less room for sentiment, but Arsenal fans were prepared to make an exception for the man who broke Cliff Bastin's club scoring record. Respects duly paid, they then acclaimed one of the new heroes. Mark Overmars hadn't scored for more than 3 months. That was a good moment to put that right. Arsenal, for all their first-half dominance, couldn't score again. Indeed, towards the end, they were gladly hanging on to what they had, relieved when Ian Wright and Eyal Berkovic couldn't get out of each other's way. It was a scoreline Wright would have recognised, 1-0 to the Arsenal.